Okay, YouTube, so first impressions after my very first mow with this Scag Patriot mower. Few things that I absolutely love about the mower. Things that I just didn't know what I was missing until I actually rode a machine this nice. The first of which has got to be that suspension seat. This one isn't as good, they tell me, as the Cheeto or the Turf Tiger full suspension seat, but man, that thing is super plush. It absorbed the bumps, and the ride was just so much smoother and more comfortable on my back. This is just a seat worlds apart from the old mower. I am thoroughly convinced that this deck was the right deck for our piece of property out here. This it felt much more attached to the ground than it did the mower, if that makes any sense at all. Feels like it glides over the ground rather than just something that's attached to the bottom of the mower whacking away at grass. This really did. I was concerned regarding the width of this, because everybody told me the wider deck you go, the more likely it is to scalp the ground, and that was one of the big things that I was worried about. We've got a lot of hills, a lot of bumps, and a lot of holes in the ground that I was concerned this thing was just going to gouge the grass and make big divots, and it simply didn't. I have to assume that some of that is the deck design, and some of it is probably the size of the machine, the width of the tires, the width of the body and the frame, just absorbing a lot more of the hills and the terrain change than the other mower. This mower deck doesn't stick out as far by the sides of the wheels as my old mower did, and my old mower was it was a narrower deck, but it was also a narrower mower. So having these big wide tires on this thing on the front, the big wide casters, those things, occasionally I would look down and they wouldn't even be touching the ground, and that's got to again be by design, because it left an absolutely immaculate cut out here. One of the things that I think I will have to get used to is changing my mowing pattern. The deck, not just is the deck 7 inches wider, but it's also just a bigger machine, wider machine, longer machine. I've got the ROPS in the up position because we do have a lot of hills out here, and I would hate to flip this thing with me underneath it. But there are certain trees that I can't get under that I used to with the ROPS up, but I feel that for my protection and my safety, it's probably a smarter idea to keep the rollover protection up and just use a string trimmer underneath those trees. It just smarter for me. A few things that I will have to get used to: the mower turns completely off even when the blades are disengaged, which my old mower didn't. I could disengage the blades, stand up on the mower, and the blades didn't disengage. So a lot of extra safety on this one. Big brother watching out for us, making sure we know what's best for us, I guess. But if it weren't for stupid people, these danger and warning labels wouldn't exist. The other thing that I'm gonna have to get used to is the amount of dust. We've had a relatively wet March, and this thing is still kicking up a ton of dust. Again, I have to assume that's by design, because the blades are just that much better at lifting the grass to cut it, that it's also lifting a lot of that dirt up and putting it right in my face. So I guess it's good that this engine comes equipped with 2 stages of much higher quality filtration than my old mower engine did, but this thing ran flawlessly, didn't get bogged down at all. And like I said, it's been a relatively wet March. This thing never bogged. I've got some, you know, sparse grass out here, but even when I was running over the really thick stuff and the big clumps and piles of leaves, this thing never bogged down. So I would have to assume that it stripes fairly well, but I don't have the type of grass or the type of lawn that you would notice striping on. I just want the grass cut evenly and smooth, and this absolutely did the trick. So far, after simply 1 hour of use, the Scag Patriot has shown to be an absolute option for out here. I really think I'm thoroughly convinced that we made the right choice when it came to mower. We mowed exactly 1 hour on this machine, and we are still at, I don't know if it's going to pick it up, just under 3/4 of a tank of fuel. They had this thing topped off whenever they dropped it off to me. So absolutely thrilled with the Patriot so far. I'll do some more reviews and see how this thing is holding up after, say, 50 and 100 hours. But so far so good. Scag, you guys build an awesome machine, and I'm thoroughly pleased with everything on it so far. Like I said, few little things that I need to get used to, but other than that, definite thumbs up. One other thing that I forgot to mention was the cup holder. I don't know if it's because of the suspension and the ride quality of the mower, or the fact that this is a big deep cup holder, but it works to perfection. This is cup holder magic here. My old mower had a cup holder, and not only was it not big enough for one of these 1 liter bottles, but it also, when you put a bottle in it, the first bump you hit, it fell out onto the ground. You were chasing it around, so you essentially had to hold your bottle of water between your legs. So cup holder absolutely works.